All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the trade findings and adjustments of September 3rd, 2019. My name is Keeve Bybee. I'm taking over for tonight. All right, so let's get started. I wanted to follow up on the Costco to see if anyone had gotten filled on the Costco trade. I wanted to go over another adjustment idea and answer questions that you guys might have. So to start off, why don't we go ahead and I just want to know if anyone had gotten filled or had put on one of these options on the Costco trade. And if so, if you wouldn't mind sharing your cost basis, what you paid for your short and your long and your net credit. I'm not hearing from anybody yet, so I assume that means at least no one here attending had put that on. So that was last Tuesday. Kevin followed up that next Thursday, last Thursday, with a 280, 265 bull put since it had gone up. Why don't we look at the chart real quick and just kind of go over that. All right, so you see, so this was last Friday. Get my pen out. Last Friday hit just under 300, went down. Tuesday we first started talking about this was, let me make sure, back over here, August 27th. So yes, it was aftermarket on this big bar day. And I have to apologize. I think I said it was an earnings release breakout, and that was not correct. It was from a bunch of good news with store sales and their China stores getting jam-packed with lines out the door to get in. So apologize for the indiscretion, but it really doesn't matter because it kind of is the same. So since we're pretty much right at the same spot, I'm just going to reiterate that it might be still a great time to do this trade. I know, so that Thursday, this day right there, if you can see that black one that kind of topped out there, that black candle. Kevin had suggested the 280, 265, and let me just look real quick on our options to see what it's doing right now. It was September we were looking at. So we're going to bid 280 and add a 265 was what we were going over, what Kevin was going over, since the numbers had changed a bit. So a midpoint of $1.24-ish. Those are numbers right now. So you could probably do that and get a little bit better, credit, I would assume, than last Thursday or Friday if you had put an order in. Those of you just joining us, I'm just going back over the Costco trade, and if you happen to place a trade on a bull put on a Costco or any of the other options we went over last week, if you wouldn't mind telling me what you had gotten filled at, your net credit, that would be cool. If not, or if you just don't want to mention it, don't worry about it. I'm just kind of reiterating this one as something you can still think about. I know Kevin tried to put an open order on, it never got filled, unfortunately, but so that is what we're looking at, and really what we would have wanted was some bleed off over that weekend, and I think we actually got a good amount of that credit bleed off. So we're not in necessarily the same situation for that. However, you know, our candles today are pretty much right where they were at 290. And I would suggest thinking about that 280, 265 bull put if it holds a 290 price tomorrow. Looks like it kind of did just exactly that today, with a pretty significant pullback on our indexes, particularly the Dow. But take a look at that. Are there any questions on it? Any of you that got filled or put that on that were able to get out or see any of that credit bleed off? That would be interesting to know. If not, I am going to delete those ones. Really just want to focus on this one, I think. So that is if you regretted not getting that one on and you wanted to give it a try again. But we really kind of wanted that 3-day weekend to help us out. So that is going to be your call, and yeah, take a look at it tomorrow. I'll write in, look for Costco to hold 290. And it doesn't necessarily have to be tomorrow. Look at it closer to the weekend. Bother Kevin about it Thursday. You know, we've got time. Might be able to get a little better bleed off with the last 2 weeks of a September. Let me put that in. So that's that. I'll leave that one alone for now, and I'm going to look at, I just want to check out our indexes real quick. We're still kind of right in that trading range of bouncing down from the 50-day, and the 200 least on some of our indexes, it's kind of right in between. I think on the Dow, on the S&P and the NASDAQ, it never really has bounced quite down to a 200-day. But nevertheless, in this trading range, around here to 28.28 or so. And struggling to get over the 50-day. Obviously, news is the culprit from why that's the case, but those are definitely technical things happening when we look at the NASDAQ here. And yes, again, the same 50-day resistance and this around 7,800 support level. So we're stuck right in between, and let's look at the Dow. And this is, of course, following more of a technical support down there at the 200-day. Get a question here. For those trades that I don't take, can I see the open position on the Hurley Investments website? Yes. So if you see, you just have to go to myhurleyinvestment.com. And obviously, if we're not getting filled on the trade, or it was one that we can't really place because, you know, we're lacking funds, and giving you a suggestion if you're looking for something this week, obviously we're not going to have, not going to be able to show any open positions on it. But go to the blog site, myhurleyinvestment.com. That's where all of these classes are recorded and sent out. And go back to Thursday, see what Kevin did. He didn't get filled on the open order he placed. So that's why I was kind of hoping someone could let me know what you guys did if you've gotten filled on that order, on that trade rather. Otherwise, you know, it's us showing our trading account here and, you know, seeing where things are at. So the other one, that's our indexes. I just wanted to go over that briefly, but I wanted to look at Facebook. So on our account here, we've got 250 call and a 210 call out to June 2020. Our 210 is profitable, has a good amount of profit in it. So I would think we would want to leave that alone. But as I was looking at specifically Facebook, this one up 250 call, it was, if I can recall, I think Kevin had put that on as somewhat of a dollar cost averaging, but just kind of giving more room, upside room for it. So I want to see if we can't add to that since it's come down so much. Cost base is over here at $9 and trading around 250, 275 rather. So I'm going to put a limit. I'm actually going to put this one in for an open order. But before that, I want to look at it real quick just to show you what I'm thinking. If you do have a Facebook position already, it's something to think about, or certainly justified as a new one, new trade. So it is fairly close to a 280 support level. Obviously, it dipped down a little further down here at 177 last week. But I would assume we're going to test 180 and probably move up from there. So I guess it's more of a fundamental reason and a little bit of a technical. I mean, we've been down here in this range now for a month and coming down up from 205. And I really see no reason why we can't hit a support level and head up, or at least for our current position to dollar cost average it. Obviously, some of the risk would be, well, what if it tests this 200-day again? And certainly that's a concern, being from between the 50 and 200. But we have established quite a good month of support here. So, and you could actually argue 182 to some degree. But last time it came down to 200, it bounced up rather quickly. And if you go back to that period, you remember around here, around this period right here, I had suggested a Facebook long call or bull call spread that, if you had done, would have looked pretty awesome. And if you did it, hopefully you're able to get out up here and guess that top. But nothing really has changed other than just the market conditions and headline news, and otherwise Facebook has been making money hand over fist. So of course, if we get any more antitrust stuff news coming in, or Google getting hammered by it, that might push it to a down further on Facebook's end. But the good news is this was antitrust stuff down here that had fallen so quickly on, that bounced pretty quickly as well. So I would think if you were able to get into a position now, and it did test the 170 level on the 200, you could dollar cost average and work that support level. So those are a couple of thoughts. For now though, and for this current position, I'm going to add the 250 June 2020 Facebook calls. I'm going to add one. That lowers our cost basis from 9 down to around 6-ish, with adding one down here at 273. All right, so that's at a 273 limit. Actually, I think I need to do a good till canceled so that when it opens tomorrow, it would get filled around that price. Review order, send. So for $273, lowering our cost basis from 9 down to around 6. I think that makes sense. And let's see if that gets filled tomorrow. And Kevin will have to follow up with it on Thursday. Any questions so far on these thoughts on Facebook? Lower our cost basis down to about $6. That's June 2020. Any questions, guys? So that's dollar cost averaging. If you want to get into a new one, you can go I think if you're going to get into a new one, I would probably look at going closer to the money. I mean, the 210s are still not terribly expensive if you're looking to add a new position in Facebook. About $1,000. You'll have to decide exactly how many you can go for, but you know, again, the principle being give yourself some room where if it falls down, we can do what we just did and lower cost basis. The reason why I didn't add the 210s onto the position we already had in here is because they're profitable. So that is that. Guys, are there any questions on this or anything else? Well, if there aren't any, and let me put this new trade option, excuse me, 210 and it was around what it was. All right, got a question. Any scheduled or not? Any scheduled event that can affect the market? Trying to think. Can't think of anything off the top of my head, Abraham. Let's see. But all else fails, go check. Oh man, everything has changed. But anyways, go down to briefing.com, economic calendars, usually the one you want to see this week. Manufacturing was the one today that kind of helped push down the market. And payrolls on the 6th. Unemployment rate. So nothing that is, I would say, going to really change things too much. If you're in Ford, then keep an eye out tomorrow for auto and truck sales. Other than that, it is sit and wait for Trump to make another tweet. All right, another question. Comment on this. Long term, the FANGs are losing their luster. Example, Netflix is not worth investing in. So I would say some of those FANGs more than others. So Apple, still worth investing in. Facebook, obviously, still probably more so worth investing in. Amazon, if you have several $1,000,000, maybe you'd think about it, as it's gotten beat up over the last year, but as far as earnings are concerned, not really a justified stock to be in. Netflix, I would probably say around the same thing. Why would you be in Netflix if you could be in Disney? I think Netflix had a good run of making sure they've got their own content that people want to continue to pay for to see, but I think they could lose market share to Disney pretty easily. And Disney has better content and more that people want. Another question. Abraham says, who would think that tweets could be so relevant a few years ago? No kidding. And, yeah, I mean, Twitter's been around for, what, 10 years or so? And, you know, Obama had access to Twitter. He really didn't do much. At least it didn't move the markets like Trump has. It is. It's pretty crazy. I'm going to agree with you there. It's kind of interesting because on one side, you know, you hope that, at least from my perspective, I like what Trump is trying to do. And I like that he's got the grit to try and do it, to push China to give us better trade deal. But obviously from an investing side is kind of frustrating, of course. So that's a double-edged sword, but I just keep reminding myself that if we get a trade deal here anytime soon, we're going to be looking pretty awesome. Any other thoughts or questions, guys? If not, I think that's it for me. Keep it nice and short and sweet. And do get another comment here. Abraham's comment is, on one side, it creates a hugely democratic space, but there is a clear asymmetry depending on the who tweets. You're right. Very good comment. I'll repeat that. On one side, it creates a hugely democratic space, but there is a clear asymmetry depending on who tweets. I like it. All right. Any other thoughts, guys? If not, that's it for me, and thanks for joining me. Good luck with Costco and Facebook, and I want to hear some of you actually give me your cost basis next time. I want to know if you've gotten filled on some of this stuff. All right. Take care, guys. Good night.